It's good. You're spreading the Finnish things.
My mom was like, yeah, it's like the Japanese culture. You got to take your shoes off. Yeah.
I love it.
But like, I get anxiety if someone walks into my apartment with shoes on. Because like, I'm like, okay, I got to tell them to take the shoes off. I don't want to be like confrontational, but I'm like, yo.
I'm just confrontational. No one's walking into my apartment with shoes on anymore.
Yeah.
I'm converted.
You're listening to Foreigners in Finland, a podcast that explores the experiences of people who moved here from abroad. My name is Felipe Silva. I'm originally from New York, and I'm accompanied by my co-host Jarrod Luxton from Melbourne, Australia. We talk about why people come here, some challenges foreigners face, and all the incredible things this country has to offer. We hope our discussions help anyone new to Finland get accustomed to life here and bring new perspective to Finns.
Welcome back, everyone, to Foreigners in Finland. My name is Felipe, for those of you new here, and I'm accompanied by my co-host Jarrod. And we're excited for today's episode. We're going to try something a little different. And we're really ready to have some fun with it. So we're going to go through 4 different things we really appreciate about Finnish living, specifically inside the apartment or inside a Finnish home, something that we would want to take back with us to our home country, and 4 things we're really not crazy about. 4 things we're like, yeah, just leave that in Finland, or even better, just get rid of it completely. And so, yeah, let's just get right into it. So, Jarrod, what's one thing you would want to take back home to Australia from Finnish living?
Yeah, for me, the first one is so easy. Shoes off when you enter the house. Now, I can't believe that this is not a thing, and I can't believe that I didn't think about this before I came to Finland. So just for some context, in Australia, nobody takes their shoes off when they're going into the house. Maybe if you've been out digging holes in the mud or something outrageous.
Yeah.
But in general, if you're entering someone's house, there's no obligation for you to take off your shoes. You'll leave your shoes on. Obviously, that's very different here in Finland, and God, I love it.
Yeah.
This should be. I'm fully converted. I am not going back.
It should be a standard everywhere in the world. It just makes so much sense. Obviously, I don't think we should need to spend too much time on it because it's an easy concept for us all to understand. But
it's clean, it's nice, it's better
clean,
in every way.
Yeah. Even though the weather here in Finland is really rough when you're talking about bringing dirt and salt and rocks and everything inside. Some places it's drier, but still it's dirty outside. So why bring shoes inside? For me as a kid growing up, anytime my friends came over, they always had to take their shoes off. And maybe that wasn't so common for them. It was just kind of always something that I've been used to.
It's good. You're spreading the Finnish things.
My mom was like, yeah, it's like the Japanese culture. You got to take your shoes off. Yeah.
I love it.
But I get anxiety if someone walks into my apartment with shoes on. Because I'm like, okay, I got to tell them to take the shoes off. I don't want to be confrontational, but I'm like, yo, take the freaking shoes.
Yeah. I'm just confrontational. No one's walking into my apartment with shoes on anymore. I'm converted. All right, so what's number 2?
Number 2, I would say, is the drying rack above the sink. I think this is a really practical thing that all Finnish apartments and homes have. I know these days most people have a dishwasher, but still, if you want to wash a pan, if you just want to wash one glass, it's really easy just to wash it and leave it up in a drying rack. It makes sense.
It makes sense. And it's so nice to be able to go through, do quick sort of load of washing of something, and then you don't look at the dishes. The dishes are gone.
They're gone.
It's like, oh my God, my kitchen is so clean. Whereas in Australia, and I'm sure many other parts of the world, you've just spent 20 minutes cleaning the kitchen and you've got a big pile of ugly dishes sitting all over the kitchen. It's like, what have I even done?
Yeah, you might have a drying rack, but it sits on the counter and it just doesn't look nice. No. I think most people who come to Finland and visit and they see that for the first time, they're happily surprised. They're like, wow, this makes so much sense.
Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, exactly. Simple things.
Oh, yeah.
So what's the third thing, Jarrod?
Third thing, for me, underfloor heating in the bathroom. This is standard in Finland. In Australia, this is only high level, super fancy house or apartment might have this if you're lucky. I love that here in Finland, it's standard. It means when you come from the shower, you can have that thing jacked up way to the max. It's super warm, it's toasty. And the best part is it helps to clear all of the moisture that's in the bathroom, so it stays cleaner.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no mold growing in the corners that you might find. It's awesome.
And maybe in Australia, it's not as much of a necessity, or or not as
Well, I don't know. It still gets kind of cold.
Does it get cold?
It gets cold, and Australian houses in general fluctuate more with the temperature.
it's not as well insulated?
No, so
Okay.
in the wintertime when it's cold, I tell you what, I was back in Melbourne recently, and I was missing my Finnish bathroom floor.
Interesting that you say that, because the fourth thing is the double glass windows, you know? And I think that Finnish apartments are super well insulated, and the double glass windows help with that. And it helps keep the apartments warm. It helps with the noise and just everything.
Yeah, it's just better. Like
Yeah.
you've got glass, air, glass to keep everything you want out, and everything all the noise and stuff you also want in. It's just better.
Yeah.
And they do double glazed windows in Australia too, but it's never like the thickness of the ones here in Finland. If you have double glazed windows in Australia, it's like there's one pane of glass, this much air, and then the second one. So they're just always worse.
Yeah.
It's just
Here
never as
you
good.
usually have at least this much space between like each glass.
Yeah.
so-
You can put stuff there, or you can like get in there with a duster and clean.
Yeah,
It's a significant area.
It's great. One thing I think I'd like to add about the heated floors is, like, back in the States, at least the house that I grew up in, it was not as well insulated, or it wasn't insulated as well. We lived in a valedictorian house that was built during the Civil War, so it was like 200, 300 years old. And it's like I would hate to go into the bathroom and take a shower in the morning in the wintertime because it was cold.
Yeah.
But if we had the heated floors, game changer. Like, it would
Massive game.
it would have been
changer.
so much more comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mate, I was renting a Victorian house when I was in Melbourne. That thing had, like, I swear, somehow negative insulation. I swear, if it was cold outside, it was colder inside.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if it was hot outside, it was somehow more hot inside too. And we used to, like, when we were getting ready in the morning, we'd get out of bed and literally run to the bathroom to get into the warm shower because that shit was so
It
cold.
was so cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically. Yeah, and it's funny because my dad transformed our mudroom into a shower bathroom, and so it was even worse. It was even colder than the rest of the house because it didn't have the proper insulation. And so I would not be a happy person in the morning when I had to take a cold shower, you know?
Yeah. Underfloor heating, that is clutch here in
Yeah,
Finland.
for sure. All right, so we went over 4 things that we would want to bring with us to our home countries about Finnish living.
But it's not all sunshine and daisies.
No, it's not. So let's talk about 4 things that we would not want to bring to our home countries and just leave here in Finland.
Yeah.
Why don't you let us know what the first thing is, Jarrod?
My first thing is not knowing my neighbors. I guess this kind of goes with like the house thing, but for me, this is a massive one. I'm a pretty social person, but I feel like even if it wasn't for the social reasons, there's practical reasons that it's kind of nice to know your neighbors. Like, you're living somewhere and it's useful to know someone. If something goes wrong or there's some sort of situation that you know the people around you. Here in Finland, people don't know their neighbors. They actively try to not know their neighbors. And I don't know if it's through some sort of awkwardness about the noise that may be coming through the walls or something going on, but people don't like to be social in the stairwell of the building or anything. For me, that's the number one detractor, and I would like to get to know my neighbors better.
Yeah, absolutely. I've noticed that as well for me. Like, it took me 3 years to meet my next door neighbor here in Finland. And it actually happened last week. For the first time, my neighbor struck a conversation with me while I was on the phone with my dad. I had my earphones in, and then invited me to see his apartment. Like, that was unheard of. I was like, whoa, what's going on right now, you know? And of course I had to invite him to check out my apartment, and we exchanged contacts, which is like helpful, you know? And that's exactly what he was saying. It's like, yeah, if anything happens, you know, like, here's my contact. I'd like to have your contact. And that was like a really refreshing experience. But I would say that that's definitely something that I would not want to bring back
No.
to States. Like, I like to know my neighbors. I think it adds a warmer feeling to living in a certain apartment building.
Of course it does. For some context, when we moved into that old Victorian house, it was a share house. Our neighbors had our spare key.
Yeah.
We met them when we moved in. They were super nice. It was like an old lady and her family there. and they had our spare key, which we used on multiple occasions. And it's just nice, you know. We we caught up occasionally, sort of brought some food over and things. I miss that. What's your first thing that you would leave here in Finland?
Yeah, so I think like not having air conditioning in apartments and homes is a bit of an inconvenience during the summertime. I know that Finland, for the most part, has been pretty cool, and there hasn't been much of a necessity for air conditioners. But of course, with climate change, the summers are getting warmer, and in July it can get like 25, 28 Celsius. And those days it's tough to sleep, you know? So I think it's nice having that convenience of adding some air conditioning in the apartment.
Absolutely. You know? Like, Finnish buildings are designed to keep the heat in. The problem is the last 3 summers that I've been in Finland, it's been hot.
Yeah.
And I mean, not like temperatures that you might be used to seeing in Australia, but when it gets above 25 degrees for an extended period of time, these buildings that are made of stone and thick concrete and all the insulation, they heat up.
Yeah.
With no air conditioning. It sucks.
And the thing is, the sun is shining like
the
for
whole
20 hours
day.
a day. Yeah, all day. So you got that heat coming in the whole time. So what's the third thing that you're not really a fan of here in Finland?
For me, it's when you go take a shower in the bathroom. This is like another bathroom thing. When the bathroom or the shower floor is connected to the rest of the bathroom. So any shower that you have, that water from the shower is spreading all over the rest of the bathroom floor. That's kind of annoying if you want to use the bathroom for anything else afterwards. Here in Finland, they have these small squeegees that you're meant to like kind of clean up all the water after you. But I don't really understand why you don't just separate the bathroom like in Australia and the States with a small little lip that keeps the water in that place. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I would definitely prefer to have like a 2 centimeter lip, like at least, you know, just to keep the water in the shower area. That way, when you step out of the shower, you can at least like have a floor mat and you dry your feet. And then if you want to brush your teeth, do something in front of the mirror, go use the toilet, you can, you know? So I definitely would rather leave that here in Finland.
Okay, but what's the fourth thing, Felipe? What's our fourth thing that we want to leave here?
The fourth thing is we didn't have one. So like, I think that's a pretty good thing for Finland. So kudos to Finland for that. It seems that we actually like apartments here in Finland pretty much.
We racked our brains and couldn't think of 4 things that we didn't like. So I think that means that Finnish apartments are doing quite a lot of things right.
Yeah, I would say so. Because I feel like our list of things that we would like could extend a little bit, but yeah, we had to keep it at
We kept it short.
But yeah, so this was a lot of fun for both of us. This was like our first time doing this, and we hope you enjoyed. If there are things that you appreciate in Finnish apartments, let us know in the comments. And if there's things that you would rather leave here and not bring back, things that you're not really fond of, yeah, let us know in the comments. I think it's super interesting for us all to look at.
And let us know what you think of this type of episode. Would you like to see more of these things? We were kind of thinking about maybe we could think about some other types of things we'd like to leave or like to bring with us from Finland too.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.
Catch you on the next one, guys.
See ya.